Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him, and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar. That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
So you're saying that you're going to make...
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter. But my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion. And I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez.
David Benavidez is no longer staying quiet after Canelo Alvarez's loss to Terence Crawford. The undefeated super middleweight champion is speaking louder than ever, saying Canelo is too scared to face him.
Can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo. Please, Canelo.
Canelo Alvarez had earlier refused to fight David Benavidez, claiming he didn't like his attitude and only cared about getting paid millions. Veteran trainer Ronnie Shields had predicted before the Crawford versus Canelo fight that Crawford would win, and he still stands by that. After the fight, Shields said he always knew Crawford's speed and ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw would be too much for Canelo. He explained that Crawford's ability to change stances, attack or defend at will, and control distance exposed Canelo's defensive weaknesses.
By unanimous decision, we got that. I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looks for one shot now. You know, I mean, the end is there for Canelo. And I just think that Crawford was too fast for him, you know, especially in the southpaw position. We all know Canelo have problems with the southpaw. So, you know, and that's why I picked Crawford. I just thought Crawford could be...
Ronnie Shields, a former professional boxing coach, praised Terence Crawford for executing a nearly perfect game plan. He said Crawford stayed calm, picked the right moments to strike, and punished Canelo every time he made a mistake. Shields said it was the high-level performance he expected. He even suggested Canelo should think about retirement, saying years of tough fights have taken a toll. However, Oscar De La Hoya had a different opinion. He said Canelo should only retire if he feels he's reached his limit, but warned him to be careful with choosing future opponents. De La Hoya said Crawford is incredibly skilled at reading styles and counterattacking, and this fight proved why he's one of the smartest fighters in boxing.
Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, you know, he moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where...
Oscar De La Hoya continued sharing his thoughts after the fight, not only commenting on Canelo's next moves, but also on Crawford's future. He said Crawford's confidence is at an all-time high, which will push him toward even bigger challenges. According to De La Hoya, Crawford looks very comfortable at super middleweight, and there's no real reason for him to go back down to 150 pounds. However, he might consider dropping to 160 pounds for a massive event. De La Hoya said one exciting fight for Crawford would be against rising star Virgil Ortiz, which would be a thrilling and action-packed matchup.
At 160, imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's going to touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be...
Rolly Romero also praised Terence Crawford's performance against Canelo Alvarez. He said only a special fighter can defeat someone like Canelo, and Crawford proved he's one of them. Romero said the early rounds were close, with Canelo pressing forward, But as the fight continued, Crawford took complete control, setting the pace, landing the cleaner punches, and winning round after round. He said Crawford's ability to adapt mid-fight and beat a top-level fighter is why people now call him one of the greatest of all time. He called it an unbelievable and historic performance.
Terrence made me, that performance did something really special for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot more special than what probably anyone else is probably thinking, honestly. Big.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't expect Crawford to be that big, but Canelo did good the first few rounds, you know, first like all the way up like to round 4, and then that's when Crawford took over, you know. So I mean, the second half of the fight though, it was all Crawford. There was no.
Despite his win over Canelo, Crawford is hesitant to fight David Benavidez, just like Canelo was. Crawford has made it clear that Benavidez is a big, strong fighter. Benavidez has now called out Canelo again, demanding a fight to determine the true king of Mexican boxing after Canelo's loss. Meanwhile, some experts have said Canelo should retire. Many Instagram pages have picked up Crawford versus Benavidez debates. Crawford admitted Benavidez is a big challenge, but said size was the only reason he fought Canelo. Benavidez is around 1.80 meters tall and weighs between 88 to 90 kilograms.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance. And what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said, forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed the Hamza Shiraz, I mean, those types of names. He's got mandatories, mobility, got the draw tonight in a great fight. There's other fighters that have belts and interim belts and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, nobody's going to rush Terrence Crawford into his next fight. They'll take his time, and, you know, whatever the next fight is, it's going to be a big one because, you know, his name is even greater now than what happened going into this fight for him.
Boxing journalist Dan Raphael agreed that Crawford executed his game plan perfectly and proved doubters wrong by dominating the bigger and more experienced Canelo. He praised Crawford's discipline and strategy, calling him one of the most complete champions in the sport. Dan Raphael further explained that while a rematch between Canelo and Crawford would be massively popular, it's not the best option for either fighter right now. He said both should look for different high-stakes fights that better suit their careers. Raphael suggested that Canelo should carefully think about his next opponent, or choose not to fight at all. As for Crawford, his win has made him the most wanted man in boxing, with every top fighter calling him out. But Raphael warned that Crawford must choose wisely based on division, event size, and titles at stake. He mentioned possible.
Because I've been a fan of Canelo since I was a kid, so my heart, a tear almost came on my I ain't gonna lie, because it felt like, you know, that Canelo's done. But I just think he was a little off that night. I think he can, you know, make a big comeback. But to Crawford, man, he's the greatest of this era. You gotta give it to him. Greatest of this era. Nobody's ever done that before. 3-time undisputed. So you gotta take your hats off to Crawford. And I was just shocked that he was able to just dismantle Canelo like that, you know, even with the size difference.
Words can't explain how good I feel. I said I was gonna get in here. I was gonna win the belt again. Like I said, it was a hard fight. You know, Darrell was trying to catch me all night. He was trying to counter me when I would step in. But you know, we were willing to take the chances, and he didn't catch me at all. It was a hard fight, but you know, my dreams come true. You know, second time fighting on pay-per-view. All my people out there came out to support. So man, it's an amazing feeling. I just can't wait to get back.
Names like the winner of Eubank versus Ben or Hamza Shiraz, Lois Schofield, who had strongly believed Canelo would win, was shocked by Crawford's dominant performance. He said he expected a classic Canelo display, but instead saw him completely outclassed. For the first time, he is unsure if Canelo should continue boxing. Schofield said Crawford beat Canelo in every area: speed, timing, and ring control. He built a big lead early and never looked back. Now the big questions are, should Canelo retire or finally accept Benavidez's challenge? And who should Crawford fight next? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.